Hello, this is me, the AvatarFanatic, and today we will be talking about some of the most powerful firebenders, and in my opinion, who is the most powerful. Feel free to have your take on who is the most powerful firebender. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and let's get on with the video. So, there are many contenders on who you would have as being the most powerful firebenders, and these are some people who come to mind. So, you got Mako, Zuko, Sozin, Azula, Roku, Ozai, Iroh, Jeong, Azula, Admiral Zhao, the Sun Warriors, Ron and Shaw, and the Combustion Benders. Out of them, let's be real, it's not the Combustion Benders or the Sun Warriors. The dragons have been defeated before, and we don't know enough about Sozin, Azula, and Roku with their bending, so I will keep them out of this video so we don't speculate too much and go off what we know. So, that leaves Zuko, Mako, Ozai, Iroh, Jeong, and Azula. So, in my opinion, these are the most powerful firebenders we know of. Firstly, it's not Mako, where he was in the Pro Bender tournaments with Korra and Bolin. He and Bolin got knocked out of the battles many times and didn't stand out as like one of the best benders through that. So he grew a lot with bending since then, but he really just protected the Earth King as a bodyguard for the remainder of the series and didn't get to show much of his growth. It also didn't show him learning new techniques, and the show didn't introduce him as a master bender. His good leadership would help him in battles, but overall he just isn't as strong as these other firebenders, and that leaves 5. Let's get into the much heated topic of Zuko and Azula, because you can directly compare them since they fought. Let's keep in mind that this fight was very close. In the comics, I believe at earlier ages, Ozai scolded Zuko because Azula had mastered many more bending techniques than him. It was 14 more techniques off memory, but I could be wrong. Zuko acknowledged Azula was off her game and Azula fumbled. Now, I think Azula is more talented, but Zuko is more powerful and more willful and has a higher mental capacity, so I would take Zuko over Azula. Although on her A game, Azula is better and more talented, Zuko had more attrition and is more powerful in my mind. You can't have mental breaks in battles and be more powerful in my book. The only reason I think Azula is 5th on the most powerful firebender list is that even if she's not on her A game, I think she would beat the people below her. So, we got Zuko, Jeong, Iroh, and Ozai left. At number 4, I would have Jeong. The reason I would place Jeong here is because he is a firebending master. I would put him above Zuko and ATLA, but as he is older, the Zuko and Korra, he is stronger than Jeong, as Zuko in my eyes is more talented and has reached his peak at that stage. Although he is less talented than Azula, Jeong can't be placed lower than her in my opinion, because even though he doesn't like using firebending at times because in his eyes it represents destruction, he knows when to use his powers and doesn't let up once he does. We don't know enough about him and his powers to put him above Zuko, Iroh, and Ozai, but we know that he was a master of his craft and that he survived getting hunted by the Fire Nation for years, hence being called the Deserter. Now, off assumption, I would put Sozin, Azula, and Roku above him, but we really don't know enough about those guys to do that, and that's why he is number 4 on my list. Now, number 3 will be pretty expected to hear, but it's Zuko. There's a simple measurement here for me. You can't teach the teacher. Iroh, being one of the most strong firebenders alive, taught Zuko almost all of his firebending techniques, and you can't outmaster your master and tutor in the subject of firebending. That being said, Zuko is very strong, as shown when he fought Team Zahir. He and Tonraq held their own against all of them. He beat Azula narrowly, although she was off her game. The strongest benders have the strongest wills, and that's what propels them to the number 3 spot. So, before I get to my number 1 and 2 spots, let's compare our top 2, Iroh and Ozai. Iroh is shown as one of the strongest benders alive. He defeated a dragon and is called the Dragon of the West. He uses many different techniques from other bending branches, such as the water bending techniques, the earth bending techniques, and so on. Iroh tore down the impenetrable wall of Ba Sing Se with one strike. He can lightning bend, redirect lightning. He is level-headed in battle and is one of the smartest firebenders on the planet. He can release 2 simultaneous lightning blasts. Zuko told Iroh that he knows he is the only firebender who can defeat Ozai. Now, we don't know if that would happen, but that was said by Zuko himself, Then we have Ozai, the most talented and destructive firebender that there is and there was, who was mauling Aang until he got into the Avatar state. Iroh said to Zuko in the last episode, in quotes, "If I beat him, and I'm not sure I could," which shows that Iroh knows his brother's power and that he knows the battle would be splitting hairs here. What we know about Ozai is that he only fought once, and it was against Aang, so we don't know much about him. Iroh hasn't been in many battles either, so this is all subjective at number 1. I would put Iroh personally. Overall, I think his raw skill in bending is better, and power is just, and I mean just, better than Ozai here. I believe Iroh thinks he would beat Ozai, but I don't think he thinks he would beat him decisively. Overall, this is how I see it. Iroh deals with adversity better than Ozai, knows more techniques, and is more polished overall. For power, I would slightly give it to Iroh, but could easily see how you would pick Ozai. So let's put ourselves in the popular opinion that Ozai is more powerful. When he shot the lightning at Zuko and Zuko redirected it back at Ozai, he fell back because of the force of the lightning. I don't believe that has ever happened with anyone, at least with the force Ozai fell back with, as it launched him backwards. He is seen as more destructive and was beating Aang, and that is the argument for him, but this is why I see Iroh as the most powerful firebending master. Being the most powerful firebender and being the most powerful at something doesn't mean just raw power and talent. It means using your peak power all the time, your skill all the time, all your techniques, your willpower, your mental state, your level-headedness, and I believe Iroh has more than Ozai in that. That constitutes my definition of power, and that's not all raw talent. It's skill and level-headedness along with it, and that's why I have Zuko above Azula, and that's why I have Iroh number 1. Like the video, comment some suggestions you guys have for future videos. Give me your opinions in the comments if you disagree with me on anything. Hit the notification bell and sub to the channel, and it's me, the Avatar Fanatic, out.